yeah, she's going in difficulty 1000. Hi everybody, my name is Benjerizer and welcome back to my channel. Guys, today we are doing a Cuphead tier list of the bosses from hardest to least hardest. Is that, if that's even a phrase? I honestly kind of don't know. But guys, today, basically what we're going to be doing is like seeing which Cuphead bosses are the easiest and which are the hardest. So, I'm going to start off with the first boss you really, or at least I normally fight on Inkwell Isle 1, which is the Root Pack. And they are easy peasy. Maybe not first try easy peasy, but they are really, really easy. I mean, they're probably the first boss most people fight in the game. It's the potato, the onion, and the carrot. Yeah, there's been enough said about these guys. They are insanely easy to defeat. Actually, I might rate that first try, if I'm being completely honest. And I have similar feelings to Goopy Legrand. Very, very easy. Yeah, so I have very similar feelings about Goopy Legrand. He is just so easy. I would say even easier than the Root Pack, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, literally, all you need is any attack and just start shooting and you're probably going to hit him. And he's just ridiculously easy. All three of his stages, he really doesn't have a hard part. And now, Hildeberg. Now, Hildeberg is pretty tricky, I would say, actually. And yeah, I'm contemplating, I would say medium. She's pretty medium because her final stage is really what makes the boss difficult. Like her first two stages, they're honestly not all that bad. They're completely fine. Yeah, so that's kind of all I have to say about her. And then we have Ruby and Croaks, who easy peasy. They're not first try easy peasy, but hey, they're still really, really, really easy. And then we have Cagney Carnation, who I would also say is just easy peasy. Not first try easy peasy, but pretty easy peasy. I've said easy peasy so many times in this video, it doesn't even sound like a phrase anymore. Okay, so now we have Baroness von Bonbon, and I would actually say she is easy peasy. Again, with the easy peasy. Yeah, she just doesn't have much to her, and I don't know if I've just played her so many times that she's just not that difficult anymore, but I don't know, she just really never was one of the harder bosses for me. Now, Beppy the Clown, on the other hand, if you guys don't know this, when I was first playing Cuphead for the very first time, I made it through all of Inkwell Isle 1, I beat Baroness von Bonbon, and then I got stuck on Beppy the Clown for 6 months. True story. So he's gonna go in tricky. He's on the lower end of tricky. Yeah, and then I would probably say same thing with Jimmy the Great. He's honestly pretty difficult, I would say. He's not insanely difficult, but he's not I would say, okay, maybe Beppy the Clown goes here, and then Jimmy the Great goes here, just at the bottom, because Jimmy the Great honestly isn't too difficult, but he's definitely a lot harder than Beppy the Clown. Alright, and now I'm gonna do Wally Warbles next. He's honestly not that difficult, but he's more difficult than Beppy, and Hildeberg, so he can go right there in medium. Alright, now we have Grim Matchstick. He is so difficult. He's not difficulty 1000, but he's pretty difficult if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, Grim Matchstick, he's just, oh my goodness gracious. So difficult. Alright, and now we're gonna have Rumor Honeybottoms, another one that's going in insane. Actually, she might be difficulty 1000 level because she just has the hardest boss fight ever, and I hate her boss. Yeah, she's going in difficulty 1000. I hate her boss fight so much. It's one of my least favorites in the whole game, and just because I don't really like it. It's really, really difficult to platform on all those platforms, dodging everything. Yeah, it is just not a fun boss fight, and it's difficulty 1000, I would say. Now, Captain Brineybeard, on the other hand, he's a very easy medium. I think he goes probably He's like on the same level as Beppy. Yeah, he can go like right there, I would say. Captain Briny Beard, he's one of my personal favorites because he's not too hard, but he's not too like easy. Yeah, I think he's just a fair balance. All right, and then who would be next? Probably Calamaria. Now, I like this boss fight. It's personally one of my favorite flying levels. But she's decently tricky. She's not too hard. I mean, I've beaten her plenty of times. Just like kind of just like playing the game. Not even for videos and stuff. I mean, guys, I'm probably one of the only people on this earth who plays Cuphead for fun. But yeah, Calamaria, she can probably go there. Now, Dr. Cal's robot, on the other hand. Dr. Cal's robot. Not as difficult as Rumor Honeybottom's. Actually, I think it is. You know what? Dr. Cal's robot gets difficulty 1000 just because of his like first 2 stages. His second stage is really, really easy. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is just really, really difficult to do that. And okay, and then Phantom Express, if you don't have the chaser, is pretty tricky, honestly. I mean, especially that first stage. And that sounds so pathetic, but just the first stage, if you don't have the chaser equipped, is so difficult. All right, but now we have Werner Vermin, or Werner Werman, however you guys want to pronounce it. And honestly, he gets, I don't know, he gets tricky, but he's honestly not that difficult if you have the smoke dash. If you don't have the smoke dash, it's a lot more difficult, but still, it's not all that bad. And then Sally stage play, she gets like medium, like right here, I would probably say, because she's honestly not hard at all. All right, so now we're getting into the King Dice bosses. And I would probably say that the Chips guy, he is like, oh gosh, I would probably say he's like first try easy peasy, if I'm being completely honest. I don't want to spend too much time on these guys because they're kind of just like little bosses before you actually get to King Dice. So yeah, and then the Magic Rabbit, he actually gets probably like, if you don't have the smoke dash, he's like here. If you have the smoke dash, he's like here. So I'm gonna put him right here. Yeah, he is not easy at all. All right, and now we have Mr. Wheezy. Ooh, he is insanely easy. I beat him every single time on my first try. And then the dominoes, they probably get like here. Again, pretty simple. The 8-ball absolutely gets first try. He is like one of the easiest ones in like the entire game. Pirouette, as long as you have the smoke dash equipped, you're good. If you don't have it, she's probably like here, once again. But if you have it equipped, like, then she's probably like right here. Oh, Tipsy Troop. That's what these guys are called. So, they're not too bad. You can pretty easily take them out, and yeah, they can go right there. All right, and now the monkey guy, the claw machine monkey, he definitely gets like probably high easy peasy, and then this guy, he probably goes like, I think that's a pretty fair rating. All right, and now I don't know really how to rate King Dice, because if you included these bosses, he would be all the way up here. But if it's just talking about King Dice's like the stage where you actually fight King Dice, it's probably like here, honestly. I mean, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, it's talking about his whole boss fight, which is definitely very, very difficult. It is a feat in itself. Yeah, and now the devil. Do I need to say more at all? I mean, like, he probably goes right here, if I'm being completely honest. The devil is easily one of the hardest bosses in the entire game. A lot of people say Dr. Cal's robot is harder than him, but I don't really agree with that, because Dr. Cal's robot is like, he's honestly not bad once you figure him out. Yeah, I think he's worse than Rumor Honeybottom's, which probably just contradicts something I said earlier. But yeah, the devil is a very interesting one. He's the final boss of the entire game, so yeah, they had to make him super duper difficult, and they definitely succeeded, I will say. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the King of Games' bosses. which are actually surprisingly pretty difficult. So the pawns, they get like right here, I would probably say. They probably got like right here. And then the knight, he gets a medium because he is super duper annoying and it's hard not to mess up on him and then just die and have to restart the entire thing. He's easier than the knight, I would say. He probably gets here. He's still medium, but he's not as difficult. And then we have the rook, who is, I would say, harder than both of them. Definitely. And then the queen is probably like here, I would say. I think that's a pretty fair rating. I would say the rook is the hardest one of them. Okay, and now what you've all been waiting for, my ranking of difficulty for the DLC bosses. Woo! All right, so we're gonna start off with the giant, the first one that I did. And yeah, he's really tricky. He's not like difficulty 1,000. I wouldn't even say he's like super hard. Yeah, he is really tricky though. I mean, like, I don't know. There's just something about him that is just like, it's so difficult because he has all those like little gnome minions that just cause so much trouble and make me so angry every time I see one of them now. Yeah, and then his second stage is not easy either, and his third stage, oh my gosh, his third stage. I wish I knew how good the crack shot was because, oh my goodness, that would have helped so much. Anywho, yeah, the giant is pretty freaking difficult. And then we have the spider guy, who is tricky, I would say, as well. Definitely not to as great of an extent as the giant, but dude, he is still kind of a nightmare. I think he took me like just as long as the giant to beat. And yeah, I hate how he has the stupid fake knockout because I literally put my controller down and was like, no, I messed up so bad. Yeah, so that was a thing and I hated it. That was one of my least favorite bosses of the whole DLC. All right, and now we have the cowgirl. Yeah, this was actually one of my personal favorites, but honestly isn't too difficult. I mean, I would say she's probably more difficult than Mr. Spider, but she was at least enjoyable. I'm like, all right, now we have the wizard guy, who I would say is definitely one of the easier ones. He probably gets the top of medium for me, because he's not difficult, but he's also not too hard, I guess. All right, and now we have the Howling Aces. This one is really, really hard. Yeah, it is just a very, very difficult boss fight. Especially when it goes like upside down. That got me so many times. And even the first stage is just really, really difficult. The second stage, it's kind of like Dr. Cal's robot, but not as difficult. But yeah, it is just not an easy boss fight. It's actually one of my favorites though. I think it's just a super like cool and crazy idea. But yeah. All right. And then we get these guys, the secret boss. This is really, really, really easy. They're so easy. Like, I don't even know. They're just like some of the easiest bosses in the entire game. And I don't really have much to say about them. It was a cool little like Easter egg. Other than that though, I don't know why I spent an entire like 4-minute video on it. All right, but now we have the wonderful and oh so difficult Chef Saltbaker, who I think takes the cake as the most difficult boss in all of Cuphead, if I'm being completely honest. This guy was one of the only bosses in Cuphead history that took me over 2 hours to complete. I have 2 hours of video trying to beat up this guy, and I actually haven't even edited the Chef Saltbaker video, but I'm sure it'll be like probably the longest Cuphead DLC video I'm gonna make. Oh my goodness gracious, where do I even start with this guy? His first stage is a living nightmare. It's so difficult, dude. Like supers barely do anything on it. Really, and this is where I found out how good the crack shot was, because the crack shot is the most overpowered shot in the whole game. That and the roundabout are like the best duo ever. Yeah, so that's how I beat him. And once I started using the crack shot, he really took me 4 tries, or at least I think it was about 4. Yeah, so that was kind of pathetic, and I didn't need to spend 2 hours playing that boss, but I did. Yay! Anyways, guys, that is my entire ranking of all, I think it's 29 bosses in all of Cuphead, or maybe it's 30. I'm honestly not too sure. Here, let's count. It's actually 40 bosses if you really count all of them. But if you take off the King of Games and all the King Dice bosses, it would actually be 26 bosses. So that is my ranking of the actually 25 bosses and 15 extras if we include this as an extra. Yeah, this was honestly a video that I knew I was gonna make after I beat the Cuphead DLC, which I gotta say is absolutely amazing. If you guys missed my videos on that, please go check it out. And if you missed my videos on the original Cuphead, while they're pretty old, they're probably like a year old at this point, and probably aren't that good, still watch them, because it really, I mean, no matter what, it really helps me out. So yeah, go check out my Cuphead playthroughs. Hopefully you enjoy them. That is my ranking of all the bosses, and yeah, with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!